share from your heart and your amazing, beautiful, wonderful Sharla testimony. Everything unique you have to offer is going to be so uplifting to whoever whoever hears it. Hello, welcome on. I am so excited to introduce you to my incredible body transformation student. She is a business professional in her family's business at the gospel country radio station in Ada, Oklahoma, who I personally have listened to hours of jamming out in college and after college. She is a performer. She sings and travels, and she is a dance fitness instructor. She's a wife, a grandmother, and an incredible friend who many rely on. And she has been a phenomenal SFA student, not missing a single workout and absolutely making an A++ every week, day after day, with amazing winning streaks. Sharla Frederick. Woo! Yay! Welcome on, Sharla.
Hey.
Well, I just introduced you a bit, but please introduce yourself in your own words. Who are you and what do you do? And let us know, where were you at physically and mentally when you decided to join into the Sculpt Fitness Academy?
Okay, so as you said, my name is Sharla Frederick, and I am a wife, a mom, a grandma now, and my official, I guess, job is yes, we have the Gospel Station Network that started in Ada, Oklahoma, but now is all over the world because you can have an app, you can do it on your television, on smart streaming TVs. We have 15 radio stations all around the United States, and we play gospel music. And so from that, I'm also a music minister at our church in Union Valley. And I've been doing that for over 20. Well, I've had to look at how long have I been doing it? 30 years. It seems like 20. No, it's more like 30 years. More than 30 years, actually. And we have a family group that sings, so we do travel some. We also work and help with the Great Passion Play in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and that's kind of an outshoot ministry of ours. It's connection with that. So yeah, and then of course on Wednesday nights at our church, I teach a Bible study class. I lead that for our women, but before that, I do teach the dance fitness class, and we have a lot of fun in that. So yeah, I do keep a little busy from now, just things I love to do though.
Hey.
So as far as when I joined the academy, I wasn't new to working out. I've been really all my life been very active, but I did find some moments where I wasn't as active, and I know that played a part in some bad health habits that I had. But back in 2011, it was actually after the death of my father, I found myself in a place where I knew I had to make some changes. So I really worked real hard at getting a plan where learning how to eat healthier, and then of course movement was a daily part, and that went on for a long time. And I generally I will say I love to work out. That is, I'm not one of those people who say I hate to work out. I love it. I love all kinds of movement, and I like trying new things. Sometimes I can get a little bit too much of movement. I get a little crazy sometimes. So when I joined the academy, because I'm in this lovely season of menopause, things that I typically were doing were not working as well for me. And so I found myself in a place where I had put on some extra weight, but a lot of it was that icky belly fat that comes sometimes with menopause. And so I'm trying to do the things that worked really well for me in my early 40s, but now mid 50s. I'm almost 56, by the way. I have birthday this month, and in just 2 weeks. I just found it wasn't working. So I joined this academy to really see if we could narrow in and fine tune some of the things that, looking at what I was doing, why am I doing these things? My body's it was inflamed in that my joints were hurting. I have psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. And I really wanted to work with this plan where it could really break down foods and see what foods might be um, bad for me personally, not bad foods, but foods that may not be good for what's going on in my body right now. And then also so I could reduce that extra fat that was beginning to be stored, but also to be able to move like I want to move without pain, and just have more energy for the things that I do, and be strong. I generally believe that there's something about being strong and building muscle, because that helps my bones. And I want to live in my 70s and 80s and maybe even 90s. Who knows? My grandma lived to
100, 100. We're going to 100.
my grandma almost made it to 90. My mom is 82. So I feel like I've got a lot more years probably ahead, and I want to live those years strong and not dependent on others if at all possible. So I really want to do my best to take care of my health.
Wonderful. Well, how were you feeling about your health and fitness journey right before you started in this Gold Fitness Academy? I believe you were going through some like yo-yos. Were you feeling like frustrated at all,
Yeah,
or
frustrated
bring it
because
there?
the things that I had done previously just really was not working very well for me. And I was trying to find that good balance of not working out too much, and then what foods would be best for me. And so, yeah, I was frustrated because I would gain 5, 10 pounds, lose 5 pounds, gain 5 pounds, lose 5 pounds, gain, I was just going like this. And, so yeah, I was frustrated because I felt like I should know what I was doing, but I felt a little, I was just, like you said, just frustrated with, I wasn't getting the results that I wanted.
Mhm.
So
And that
yeah,
you're working really hard for.
I was.
You are one of the most disciplined women that I know. Um, so, what obstacles did you have to overcome in order to reach the transformation that you have today?
Well, I think I had to, first of all, realize that because of where I was, I needed to be open. The obstacle of not relying necessarily on all past knowledge, but open to new knowledge, but also knowing that I had to do some things differently and not be afraid of trying new things, that even though maybe in my own mind thought, why is this not working here? Okay, it's time to relearn some things or do some things differently, because I kept, that thing of insanity where you keep trying the same thing over and over again and expect different results, right? And that's kind of where I was. So I was a little fearful of stepping into something, maybe letting go of some things that I didn't want to let go of, or maybe finding out, for instance, in food, like this certain type of food that I actually love may not be something I'm going to need to give up in order for my joints to feel better and my gut to feel better and all that. And that's a little fearful sometimes of trying these things, but I was willing to do that because where I was.
Great. And yeah, you would fall into the category of my overtrainers
Yeah.
who are working out. How many days were you working out before? Because you also overcame a plateau. You were working out for long periods of time. And how long were you at a plateau for?
Um, well, as far as working out long period, I mean, there was definitely a season where I might do definitely 2 a days. It could be even up to 2 hours a day. I mean, there was definitely some time with that. I had tried to let some of that go, and I was getting better at it, but I was still trying to find a really nice balance of it as well. And Yeah, there were times I would go maybe to a class that might be a 45-minute class, and then I might have another 45-minute class in the evening. And then I might go and do something at home or a walk. I mean, that was kind of very typical for me to do.
Mhm.
And so the plateau, I had some like, especially this last year, I had kind of got to a point where I was I'd lose some and then I'd gain it back and lose some and gain it back. And so, it was just at least a year of that where I was going in a circle, I felt like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how long were you, because you've been a fitness trainer for a while,
Mhm.
but you were still kind of stuck. I mean, you've been kind of an overtrainer for a while, but still not shredding body fat. How
Right.
long were you with that kind of plateau?
I would say probably looking back at timeline, I would say in a range of 3 to 4 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know one of the obstacles you had to overcome was trusting me when I said we were going to do 14-minute workouts, that
Yes.
would work. And you were like, I don't know about this. Like,
Yes.
I'm not going to be pushing myself as hard, but um, we'll get to your wins that are really exciting in a moment. Tell us about the obstacle of some joint pain that you had. When you first started, you sent me pictures in a knee brace. And tell me about overcoming some knee pains, joint pain, gut pains, things like that.
Yeah. As far as I mean, this is years ago, I had surgery on my right knee from a basketball injury. And so I feel like on and off over all the years, I've always had a little bit of issue with that. But in the last really 4 to 5 years, I've struggled more with joint pain in both of my knees and even some in my hands. And most of that comes from, I do have psoriatic arthritis. And so I felt like I was constantly battling that, the swelling and the tightness. They weren't in constant pain. Some days were better than others, but mobility, definitely has changed, because of that.
Mhm. Yeah. So let's get to the exciting part. What results did you achieve? What are some of your favorite hashtag wins with your mobility, with your gut health, and with your overall body transformation?
Well, during our time, my goal was to drop 15 pounds, and so we reached that goal, of course, yay! And so that was definitely a big win. But I have a scale that measures way more than just weight, and so I really tracked all kinds of things on it, and of course, body fat percentage dropped several points. Visceral fat, which is the highly dangerous fat, it dropped down, I know, 3 points on it. My metabolic age is like I'm now younger than I am, according to my scale. So I'm aging backwards. I love that. I lost inches in some of I lost several inches in my waist and my hips, which were the areas that were definitely needing it. But as far as the strength I had built, I really found that I held on to the strength, and so that was really important because I was kind of worried about those easier workouts. I didn't want to lose the muscle. I knew there was muscle in there, I knew I was strong. I'd been building muscle, but I didn't want to lose that. By going into these different type of workouts. So I was glad that during that shred, so to speak, I was able to keep that muscle and lose the extra fat that I was wanting to get rid of.
Yeah, awesome. And how are your knees feeling? How many months has it been since you've had a brace, and how are your hands feeling today?
Oh yeah, my knees have been a whole lot better. They feel much better. I don't have near the amount of swelling. Like that was it had become kind of daily. And so, I've not had to use, some days I just wake up and I'm like, I'm going to put that brace on just to get that swelling, because it kind of it's a compression brace, which helps reduce the swelling. But I haven't had to do that. And my hands have felt so much better. Um, I did notice in our gut reset that when I had gluten, I had like that one little finger was like, oh, I'm going to be stiff today. And I was like, okay, that's probably a sign that I'm going to have to lay off of that. So, but I needed to know that. I needed to know issues like that were going to affect my joints, because long-term inflammation, chronic inflammation is bad for your joints, as we know. So, wisdom is what I needed. And so I'm very thankful that I'm learning those things.
Yeah, absolutely. So now it's not a matter of, oh no, my hands are just like my body's falling apart. I'm in pain and there's nothing I can do about it. Now, if that flare up happens, if that pain starts in your finger, that first sign, okay, lay off of this one
Yeah.
ingredient versus and now okay, I can have a little bit, but if I have the second
Yeah.
serving or the third serving, that's
Mhm.
when the inflammation starts.
Right.
So the control's back and like the ball is back in your court, and you're in control versus feeling like at the mercy of your body. Because I
Right.
hear that a lot where women feel like, oh, well, I'm just getting older, so this is just what happens.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I now can notice these things, knowing, um, okay, I believe I can have a little bit of gluten, but I'm just going to have to be more mindful about, like you said, the serving of it, maybe even the types of gluten, and really pay attention to that. So I don't feel like it's not something I can never have, but I'm going to have to be a lot more mindful of planning it. And if I've had some, maybe had some for lunch, maybe we wait a few days to have some more. If that's, because sometimes you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of choice, like in a Sunday afternoon potluck dinner, and so sometimes you get some things that are not always best for your individual needs. So, pay attention to that, and that will help me just be wiser to make wiser decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you have a really exciting win of that you started your transformation journey right before Thanksgiving and went through all of the holidays
Yeah.
and right into spring. How did you feel about navigating your health and fitness during the holidays?
Yeah, I mean, it was doable. I mean, it helped when because tracking is, I think, the biggest thing for me, to keep a mindful eye on everything I was putting in. Um, really making sure I wasn't just eyeballing things, but really measuring them and weighing them, because it's very easy to think like a tablespoon of peanut butter, but then you weigh it out and you're like, oh no, that's really 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And that's a big difference in calories. And if you are trying to catch your calories, 100 here, 100 there can make you go over your goal that you have for that day. Not that you can't have the peanut butter, but you need to be mindful of how much you're using, versus, oh, I'm guessing, and then you wonder, why can't I lose weight? Well, that's one for me that's been very helpful, because it helps me with my portion size. And you learn that, then you learn that in times when you can't weigh or you can't measure, then you have at least a visual idea of what it really looks like. And so being mindful at tracking and still planning, and just because Thanksgiving was thrown in, or Christmas or a Christmas party, then I could kind of plan around those things to make sure it wasn't I wasn't having to, like, Thanksgiving meal is a meal. It's not the whole day. So let's have a good breakfast and a good lunch. And then if you were, or whatever time, if you're having a Thanksgiving dinner that evening, you would plan that ahead of time and then focus on, well, I'm going to get me some good protein, but I'm going to have things I still love, just in little bits and bites of things that I really love that I probably only have once a year or twice a year or whatever. And so I didn't say no to some of my favorite desserts, but I was very mindful and picky about the ones I wanted the most.
Wonderful. So you still got to have all of your favorite family traditional treats,
Yep.
making those memories with your family.
Yep.
And did you do it guilt-free?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
mean, like, oh, I'm been bad. I'm going to just eat everything in the house now because I blew it. No, I knew that was just that meal and I was going to enjoy it and savor it and then get back to my regular plan the next meal, or the next day, just join in on what I usually do. So,
Great. I love to hear it. Well, is there anything else that you want to share that you're excited about with your wins? Any hopeful message?
well, I think for people out there, first of all, don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be saying, for me, like people my age, you're not too old to start something and try things new. I mean, I don't feel like, I mean, some people would say 50, almost 56 is old. I would never say that. So, you can do things and you can change habits. And if you take it one day at a time and one habit at a time, and it takes time and dedication, but if you really look at the long-term goals of, this is I want to live this way, I want to live in good health, I want to, this is not a diet, this is not it's not a 90 days and then I'm done and everything I just learned is out the window. You can't have that kind of mindset. You have to have a mindset is, I'm learning how to live my life in a way that will bless my body and bless my mind and my soul and my spirit, and that I can continue on to do what God's called me to do. And I think that's where you have to come from. And that's what I feel like I try to do, not always, definitely not perfectly, but also that sometimes, um, you know, I know when I did the gut reset, it was kind of like nerve wracking for me right at first because I'm thinking I can't have, right? So I had to change that mindset of thinking about, okay, what can I have, and really focus on those things, and then try new things that within that plan. And then as we were adding back new things or back in, we're adding things back in, then I could really learn. I kept thinking, okay, but this is just the learning. It's not long term. Doesn't mean I can't ever have my eggs again that I love, or whatever. But I learned to try new recipes and get creative and know that I have control over what I put in my mouth. And so I just think that people out there that want to do something about their health has to be willing to learn new things and to know that it's not too late. If you're here on this earth, it's not too late to try it.
Yay. Wonderful. So beautiful. Getting better year after year, never stopping. And I love it. And yeah, for a short period of time, it was, oh, what I can't have, but what you gained. Now you have that control and you have that mobility and you're feeling good. So you gain so much more. Do
Right.
you agree with that? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good, because that's how I see it. And I'm so happy that you're feeling that and you have that too. Okay, what would you say to somebody that is thinking about joining the Sculpt Fitness Academy, but they're holding back because they're feeling nervous?
Okay. So I would just say if you're nervous about it, don't be, because you will be every little step you're going to know what to do, and you don't have to learn everything all at once. Sometimes that overwhelms people when they think about all the things that you're going to learn and all the things that I've got to try. And so with Coach Bree, you get every little step. You get step by step, and you are guided through a lot of knowledge and information and learning. And then you can ask questions, and all the help that you need is right there for you. So You're not like given a whole bunch of stuff and then you're like, okay, you're on your own. It's not like that. You have the ability to have a coach who will listen to what you need and guide you in your food and even change workouts out for you. And like, for instance, she Coach Bree helped me because she knew I had all this swelling in my knees. So she changed up my workouts. She changed up how I can stretch better and um, help actually in those days where we built in extra recovery, help those joints and the muscles not be so tight and it really helped fight all that inflammation. And so she customizes it to what you need at your level, at your age, at your abilities, or whatever it is. And it is something very doable, I believe, for anybody at any age, at any time.
Yay. Wonderful. Well, you have been such a delight, Sharla. Thank you so much for having me as a part of your health and fitness journey. And I'm excited to see you thrive for years and years to come.